What's going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we're here for AEW on TNT review for September the 1st, 2021. It is finally here. We are at All Out week, with tonight and Friday and Sunday, of course, being at the Now Center in I think it's nearby Chicago. It's not actually Chicago, but we're in the Chicago area. So that is awesome. Tonight you had FTR and Santana and Ortiz in a tag team match again after what happened in the last match happened to be cut short. Very disappointing last time. This time was a fantastic match. Absolute fantastic match. CM Punk gets physical after he gets attacked by 2.0 and Daniel Garcia. Also, Sting hypes up their match for them. Orange Cassidy took on Jack Evans. MJF, we hear from MJF and Chris Jericho on their match coming this Sunday. Hobbs versus Brian Cage, as well as Penelope Ford taking on Tay Conti after that rivalry starting and a surprise return there. The Faker trolls everybody in the most pathetic way possible. And then the Lucha Bros and Jurassic Express take on the Elite in a 8-man tag team match leading into this coming Sunday. So, tonight's show is just, it was a decent show. It had a very good opener. The crowd was there. The crowd was into it. The crowd was hot for the entire show. Even Penelope Ford and Tay Conti got a "This is awesome" chant, even though they were not awesome. I'm just going to be completely honest. They were not awesome at all. So, yeah, that was definitely interesting for sure. But we started off with FTR and Santana and Ortiz. Now, as we all know, last time it was not good. It was not good at all. Why was it not good? Because Cash Wheeler got injured and had a chunk of his arm taken out, and people were wondering, is he going to be done? Is that it for him? Is he going to have to retire? What is going on with FTR? And then we get the match here tonight. I think it was Dax Harwood was in the match for the majority, which I kind of figured was going to happen because of the injury and wanting to make sure everything was good for FTR. But Pride and Powerful chant. It was Pride and Powerful FTR back and forth between both sides. The crowd is just hot for both of these guys, so there was that. Also, just great action between both of these teams. These two are by far two of the best tag teams in professional wrestling. They proved it tonight. Santana Ortiz winning the tag team titles at Arthur Ashe would be fantastic. I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, a lot of people are predicting that they are going to win the titles at Arthur Ashe. That would be a great moment. That would have to mean the Young Bucks would have to win on Sunday. I'm not saying they're going to, but we'll get to that later as we will have our all-out predictions. We'll also talk about something else after I'm done with this match, but this was just four guys going out there showing, hey, some people in this world do not like professional wrestling. Or tag team wrestling. They hate it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, you know who that is. However, these guys wanted to show you that if you don't like tag team wrestling, you do not know what you're missing. This was a hell of a match. Big rig, kick out, Ortiz stops, Santana stops down off the top rope, which that looked nasty. FTR hit the big rig, Ortiz was being pinned. Santana leaps off, knocking Dax back into both guys, and Ortiz got crushed by everybody. Wheeler walked into a cutter, then a super lung blow by Ortiz, thrust kick by Santana, double flapjack again, 1, 2, 3, and Santana and Ortiz are your winners. Hell of a way to open this episode of AEW on TNT. This was just awesome. Absolutely awesome. I enjoy both these teams' work. Cannot wait to see what they do coming up. It is a shame that it's not one of these two teams going up against the Young Bucks in the cage, but I'm not going to sit there and complain because the Lucha Bros, if they win on Sunday, which we'll talk about later, they are long overdue as well. Hopefully, very soon, Santana and Ortiz will have themselves their day as tag team champions. Hopefully, by the end of the year or by All Out next year, they are the tag team champions. I'm just saying. So that was the opener. Backstage, we had 2.0 hyping up the fact that Daniel Garcia is taking on Darby Allin this coming Friday, which that episode of Rampage will be live. So that'll be something to look out for. And then we have CM Punk come out to talk to his people. We are in Chicago for the whole week, so definitely had to have him come out. And this, by the way, I didn't know this and didn't realize this until they actually didn't mention this either until Punk came out. This was the 100th episode of AEW. 100th. That's crazy to think. This is their third year in existence, and they're at 100 episodes right before at the beginning of September. I don't think anybody would have seen that one coming. And a lot of people wouldn't have expected them to make it this far. But hey, that is great. So 100 episodes, here's 100 more. If it wasn't for this weekend, they would have made a bigger deal about this. But how could you try and make this any much bigger of a weekend than you have already? It's just the 100th episode fell at a very, at a bad time. I'm sure if it was last week or next week or the week after that, AEW would have produced it would have been a bigger show with bigger matches, but you're not going to sit there and have the best of the best in a pay-per-view quality show half a week before All Out. It's just not going to happen. Why would you do that? Before we get to CM Punk, we have to mention this. It came to knowledge during the show, or I didn't notice it until around the time it started showing. Andrade's name was trending on social media, and I'm wondering what's going on. Why is his name trending? Well, unfortunately, Andrade versus Pac has been postponed from All Out due to travel issues for apparently for Pac. So Pac is probably back at home. Why he would go home instead of traveling to hang out with one of his somebody to make sure he's in the States for that match, because that's a big match. But Pac no longer available for All Out. That match is going to be on a Rampage in the future when they can get the match is going to be on a Rampage in the future. We don't know when that's going to be. It could be next week. It could be the week after that. I don't know. Maybe I'm sure if they can try and hold it off, they're going to try and probably hold it off till the next live Rampage, which will of course be in the middle of October. When they go to, I think it's that place in Miami, Florida, because AEW is going to be on Saturday that week instead of Sunday. So instead of Wednesday. So that's why we're going to get that episode of Rampage being live in a different arena. So I have a feeling that's when they're going to have, if they can hold it off there, because it's going to be on a Rampage. They didn't say on Wednesday night. He said on a Rampage, because honestly, if you could and you had to, you would hold that off till the Grand Slam on the 22nd in 3 weeks. But they're going to hold it off until whenever. So we don't know when it's going to happen, and it feels like that you would have that as a live show and not on a live Rampage and not a tape Rampage, because that match should be done live, plain and simple. But it does bring down the show a bit, because Pac versus Andrade, I know a lot of people were looking forward to. I was looking forward to it. We couldn't wait to see what Pac and Andrade could do. Andrade did put out a social media request saying Andrade Alito versus at AEW All Out. So could we possibly still see him at All Out in a match against somebody that hasn't been announced yet? Nothing has come from that. Of course, it wouldn't be the first time we had a match rescheduled or postponed due to something, of course. So yeah, Andrade versus Pac, gone, sucks. Can't wait to see when that match actually happens. So, yeah, like I said, we had CM Punk. I hope we have enough here because I want you guys to hear this. But CM Punk, of course, in Chicago, so CM Punk has to talk. And CM Punk is talking. Outcome 2.0. Pretty much, it was just him hyping up. It's not much to talk about. It's just him hyping up his match. And this could be the last match for him. This could be his first and last match in 7 years because he's still not sure of himself. And going out there against Darby Allin, it should be interesting to see what happens with that. So 2.0 come out. With Daniel Garcia, they beat up on CM Punk. It goes a lot longer than I thought it would go. Out come eventually Sting and Darby Allin. They get out there. Go out to 2.0. Daniel Garcia, or was it Daniel Garcia? Let me see. Oh no, it's Daniel Garcia and one of the members of 2.0. Well, yeah, Parker was in the ring with, Park was in the ring with Punk still, and Punk just gets in the corner and starts wailing on him. They beat these three guys up. Sting hits a Scorpion Death Drop. Darby Allin hits a Coffin Drop, and Punk hits a GTS on Parker, and that leaves everyone laying. CM Punk, Darby, they get face to face, head to head, just saying some words that we can't hear. Sting grabs a mic. Before Sting talks, there's one of the guys still in the ring. CM Punk says, "Hold on," takes him and throws him out of the ring and says, "Here you go, you got the floor." So Sting pretty much says, I've been wanting to share a ring with you. We haven't crossed paths before." Ironically, Sting made his WWE debut at Survivor Series in 2014, months after CM Punk walked out. So if CM Punk would have happened to be around WWE and didn't walk out in 2014, him and Sting would have crossed paths, of course, but that didn't happen. Puts over the match, of course. Who better to hype this match up than Sting? Sting says that we need to just get rid of all blockage of the road, including Sting. So, at AllOut, it will be Sting, Darby Allin, CM Punk, one-on-one. Nobody's going to be out there. I'm going to come out with my partner. I'm going to fist bump him. And I'm going to head to the back. So, even Sting saying how important this match is for AEW and professional wrestling. This should be absolutely great. And I'm sure Punk going out there, getting some licks in on, taking some licks and giving some licks was great for him so he can get back into the groove of things. He's not going into his match on Sunday completely cold. Get the juices flowing, get some shots in. Now, of course, Daniel Garcia is taking on Darby Allin this coming Friday. CM Punk has been advertised for the show. It is going to be live. So, we'll see what happens there. And it would not surprise me if CM Punk gets some more licks in on 2.0 to get a couple more shots in before his pay-per-view match on Sunday. So, there is that. Alrighty, here. Video package hyping Kenny Omega. Jim Ross says he's been able to keep the title for so long because he's damn good. Clips are shown of his hype his match against Christian Cage at pay-per-view. Paul White talks about how Christian has already pinned Omega for the world title, and that could make all the difference. I really want to get this MJF promo because this was fantastic. There is only a few people better on the mic than one MJF, and they're all in AEW. I don't care how good Roman is sometimes. I don't care how good John Cena is when he wants to be. I don't care how good Paul Heyman's wants to be when he is almost all the time. MJF, Eddie Kingston, Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley are four of the absolute best in professional wrestling when it comes to talking. CM Punk's up there too. So that's five right there. All in AEW. 5 of the absolute greatest in the fucking world to talk on the mic. And nothing I say or can say about this promo can even justify that match, or that promo, because MJF is just that good. It's just, and of course it's also, Jericho's great too. He has a promo later with JR, but he sat down with Tony Schiavone, and I just want to get this promo because it's so goddamn good. Please tell me that it sounds like I got it.
AllOut Chris Jericho puts his career on the line against this man, the most disgusting, despicable human being that I've ever been around in my life. And I'm going to be very honest with you. This is very uncomfortable for me to do, MJF.
What an intro, Tony. You're such a professional. Cowboy Chris, Corazon de Leon, Lionheart. The man of 1,004 holds, the sexy beast, the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, the best in the world at what you do, the GOAT, the Painmaker, Le Champion, the Demo God, Chris Jericho. 4 decades. 4.
Thank you.
Please. Of consistently evolving in order to stay on top of the mountain in professional wrestling, being universally known as the greatest of all time. Your career is absolutely unparalleled, Christopher, and whether I, your greatest critic, cares to admit it or not, you will be forever etched in the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling. But don't get it twisted, buddy. By the time my career's all said and done, I'll be taking your place. And I know wrestling fans are going to take a long time to get used to that. Hell, I might as well be pro wrestling stepdad because I have your shoes to fill, Christopher, and that's no easy feat. However, Muhammad Ali was once considered the greatest boxer in the world. Thought he was the greatest boxer about 1 to 2 times too many. Because he kept coming back for that spotlight. He turned his brains into scrambled eggs and his body into a shell of what it once was. Look in the mirror, Jericho. After everything I've put you through, you're Ali. Your knees are shaky, your back is achy, it takes you 5 hours to go to sleep at night, and a whole lot longer to get out of bed in the morning. You're on a downward spiral, man. But, just like Ali, you're an addict. You need the spotlight. You crave it. The warmth beating of that spotlight is oh too intoxicating for you to stay away. And I've taken that away from you 3 times, Chris. And when a man like you loses that spotlight, you're willing to do just about anything to get it back. That's why you've put your career on the line, Chris. And that's why on September 5th, at AllOut, I'm going to have the distinct honor and privilege of ending one of the greatest runs in the history of professional wrestling. It is oh so poetic that the same yearning of the spotlight that got you to the dance will be the same reason why your music dies.
Oh, just so beautiful. Just a great promo. MJF is a legend already. His legend is growing. He is just, I can't even with like how great he is at such a young age. As I said it last year, he's going to be running like the face of this company for like the next 25 years. He is just so fucking good. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unfucking believable how good this man is. That was just fucking great. So we got Orange Cassidy versus Jack Evans, and I just have to ask, why is this feud still going on? Last week, if I'm correct, you had Mr. Orange Cassidy beat Matt Hardy one-on-one. Broken nose or not, he beat him. We do not need this to happen anymore. I do not want to see any more of the HFO versus Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends. Honestly, why is Orange Cassidy wrestling so much? You're overexposing the guy. Why? Just why do I have to continue to see Orange Cassidy wrestle? The whole thing about him is that he doesn't do, he tries, But now you're going out there and you're having this guy wrestle almost every single goddamn week on either Wednesday night, Monday night, Tuesday night. Soon it's going to be Friday night. Every single fucking time you turn around, you're just having this guy go out there and wrestle. And you weren't doing that for the longest time. And now you just have him wrestling every week. And the specialness of Orange Cassidy is going to run its course faster than it should. Plain and simple. The match was nothing special. Orange Cassidy ends up winning. Of course, before the match started, Matt Hardy was out there with Jack Evans, goes over and attacks Orange Cassidy after him getting his nose broke last week. He gets ejected. The match happens. Orange Cassidy wins. But here's the thing. This pisses me off a little bit. The match ended in picture-in-picture. What? Why is this match ending in picture-in-picture? Why am I sitting here watching a match with Orange Cassidy and it's ending in picture-in-picture? That just shows you how much this match actually fucking mattered to everything. So down comes Matt Hardy. They start beating up Orange Cassidy. Here come Wheeler Yuta and Chucky T. They stop him. Out come the rest of the HFO. They beat these guys down. Out comes Jurassic Express. And they chase off the HFO. So at All Out, because of the Andrade Idolo match being postponed, the Jurassic Express, Chuck Taylor, Wheeler Yuta, and Orange Cassidy will be taking on Matt Hardy, Private Party, and TH2 in a 10-man tag team match on the kickoff. People were wondering, how are we going to get Matt Hardy, or not Matt Hardy, but Orange Cassidy, I keep messing this up. How are we going to get the Jungle Boy to be a part of All Out? Because Jungle Boy is one of the hottest acts in AEW right now. And you're not going to have this guy on the pay-per-view in any way, shape, or form? Well, there you go. So we're still at 10 matches. And that match is going to be your kickoff show. We need the women's Battle Royal, which has 18 women right now. We're still missing, 19 women, 19. We're still missing one that is not the wild card, because the wild card we should not know about at all until the pay-per-view is going to be on the main card. So we get a beautiful promo package between Eddie Kingston and Miro. Miro, of course, saying that, why is the DDT this guy's weakness? Because his neck is weak, and he's going to be going for the guy's neck at All Out. And of course, Miro just says he doesn't lay down for anyone but his hot wife, which, okay, we're going to have those keep going. And they just set up. Can't wait to see these guys go. I think this is going to be a sleeper hit at All Out, is Eddie Kingston and Miro. Everyone's talking about CM Punk versus Darby Allin. Everyone's talking about the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros in a cage match. Those are going to be some great matches. But if you give Eddie and Miro the time, they're going to have one hell of a match. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Hype video, Jon Moxley versus Satoshi Kojima. Should be a good match. Don't really care. It's going to be Jon Moxley on pay-per-view. That's the only reason you want to watch that match. Other than that, it's one of those things that it's like, okay, it's happening. Oh, well. Then you had Jericho come to the ring, hype up his match, and I wish I had the video pack. I wish I had the video for this, because this was good stuff too. But it doesn't look like it's up anywhere. So Jericho's in the ring. Jericho was very emotional. This is Jericho's actual first ever in-ring interview in AEW. Usually he does the backstage stuff, sit-down interviews, which there was a rumor going around that Jericho could be getting away from main commentary, which I wouldn't be too mad about. And he might be doing backstage interviews, sit-down interviews, stuff like that, which honestly is where he shines the most. But that apparently is not the case. We'll see what happens with that. But he hyped up the crowd a bit, saying that he's going to be talking to one of his oldest wrestling friends. And you can just hear the emotion coming out of this guy. And he's like, this guy is making a big mistake. But I want you guys to give it up for Chris Jericho. It's like, I can see that JR is holding back tears the entire time that this is going on. And of course, Jericho's like, the very first thing, he's like, I'll get to that question. He's like, why would you put your career on the line? He's like, that's a great question. I'll get to that. But first off, your MJF is a what? He is a piece of shit. And fucking Tony Schiavone on commentary is like, common knowledge. That's hilarious shit. He wants to know. He wants more, but it says it's horrible. That it's something horrible that does go wrong. He thanks the fans for being a big part of his life. MJF is not taking this away from him, though. You're going to have to be the best you've ever been. He doesn't believe MJF has what it takes to get rid of him. I'll see you Sunday, you little prick. Shakes Ross's hand and paces around the ring for a moment, then looking into the crowd. Another video hype package for CM Punk vs. Darby Allin, which they are labeling the most anticipated match in the last 20 years. But some people, yeah, it is the most anticipated match. Not for me. It's a highly anticipated match, but not the most I've ever anticipated. Hangman Adam Page winning the AEW World Championship, in my opinion, will be a more anticipated match than CM Punk returning. That's just me. I'm just gonna get that right there. That's just me. Guys on commentary for Powerhouse Hobbs versus Brian Cage. It's a big boy fight. They beat the living shit out of each other. Cage is trying to win this match. He has him ready for the drill claw. And Hook gets up on the apron. Hobbs is able to get out of it, throw him into the ropes. Ricky Starks out of nowhere with the title shot. 1, 2, 3. And that will do it as as the Powerhouse Hobbs gets the win. And this, in my opinion, is leading to one thing and one thing only, is that Brian Cage cannot beat Team Taz on his own. It's a 3-on-1 advantage. Yes, Cage is a big dude, and if they were guys Hook size or Ricky Starks size, maybe. But this guy is not a small dude. They have Powerhouse Hobbs. So, in order for him to get the revenge against Team Taz, I feel he's going to get help from a couple guys. Don't know who they would be. Maybe somebody coming in. Who knows? But, and I know my dad's like, oh, you could bring Braun Strowman in and put him with Cage and Lance Archer, and they could be the Beast. And I'm like, no, that is not what we need here. But there are going to be some. He's going to have to recruit some people just for. If it's temporary, that's fine. Just. It's going to have to be one hell of an interesting thing to see what happens between these guys, because this is not going to be over until Brian Cage says it's over, and Brian Cage gets his revenge on Team Taz, which he did not even come close to tonight. Malachi Black. This guy, of course, as we know, he destroyed Cody a couple weeks ago. He destroyed Brock Anderson and Arn last week. And Lee Johnson came down and Malachi Black left the ring, which, according to Malachi Black, some people said that he left the ring because Lee Johnson showed up. And Malachi's like, that is not why it happened. Because I fight and I destroy when on my time. And I was just leaving because my time for the week is up. And that I spared Cody. I spared Brock and I spared Arn. And I could have made them feel even worse. But you, Mr. Lee Johnson, will get none of that. As I am going to torture you. And beat the hell out of you. And then I think they said something about putting coins on his eyes. That when he gets down, when he sends him to the depths of hell, he can pay the devil's toll. Really loving. Oh, you can throw Malachi Black up there too for best promos in AEW, because my fucking god, he is just up there with everyone else when it comes to great promos. AEW again. If you took MJF, Eddie Kingston, Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley, Malachi Black, CM Punk, and you put them up in a promo battle against any 6 from any other company, you're not going to lose that promo battle. Those 2 are just going to go out there. Those 6 are going to go out there and just slaughter the entire thing. Here is Malachi Black.
Because it is I that dictate when we fight, not you. And ever since that moment, I have given you 7 days. 7 days to atone for interrupting me. I want to remind you that I took mercy on Cody and Arn and Brock. I granted them a swift death. You, however, will not be so lucky. I will make you suffer. At the end of it, I will place a coin on each one of your eyelids. So when I send you down to Hades, you can pay the boatman's toll.
And there you go. That was the promo I was just talking about. Again, just great stuff. In the ring, and this is the what the hell were they thinking segment of the night. QT Marshall's in the ring with Nick Comoroto, Aaron Solo, and a few trainees from the factory. He calls out Paul White and wants to talk to them man-to-man despite having other people with him. White makes his way down to the ring. Guys are trying to jump him, but gets shoved away. White clocks a few of them, one with the WMD, his big punch. Choke slams a guy. Solo tries to leap off the top rope and gets swatted out of the air. Gun Club runs to the ring to make sure that things are even. Marshall grabs the chair, thinks about jumping in the ring, but Billy pops in and knocks him on the floor. QT stuck Chance on the ground. Billy Gunn has the chair, and Billy Gunn doesn't throw the chair away. Paul White thinks everything's good as gravy. And then, from behind, in his surgical repair hip, Billy Gunn whacks Paul White across the hip. He buckles to the floor, to the mat. Turns around like, why, Billy, why? Billy with another shot to the head as his sons look on all happy and everything. QT Marshall with the expression of the night looking like he just walked in, or he just watched, he just walked in on 2 hookers having a good time or something. I'm not good with analogies. But he had the biggest, he had the meme face of the week. So the factory comes back in, they lift up Paul White, QT hits a diamond cutter, he celebrates and the fallen White, and that is that. Why does anyone fucking care? This was absolutely the biggest waste of my time, your time, anybody's time. And this is not on the pre-show. This is buy-in written all over it. This and the Women's Championship match, because the Women's Champion is a fucking joke, are 2 of the least important matches this coming Sunday. Why Paul White is even getting in the ring against QT Marshall? Nobody cares about QT. We have been saying this for months. Not me, but everyone has been saying this for months that QT is terrible. Nobody wants to see this guy in the fucking ring. He needs to go be a Norman Smiley or somebody else who just trains wrestlers, and that's it. Just because you can train people well doesn't mean you're a great in-ring performer, and he shows that. I didn't give a shit about this. This was piss break leading into the next segment, which was the Faker, who apparently had free agent news, which of course, because it has to be convenient that her fiance, boyfriend, whatever the status is now officially a free agent and not signed anywhere. I don't think, and Adam Cole should not sign anywhere right away, because he is a hot prospect and everybody's gonna want to sign Adam Cole. Get an offer from WWE, look it over. Get an offer from Impact, get an offer from Ring of Honor, New Japan, MLW, AEW. Look them all over. He could take a whole goddamn month off if he wants to before he decides, I'm going here or I'm going there. You don't have to sit there and do anything for a whole month. He doesn't have to do anything for as long as he wants, because he's a free agent. If he wants to take his sweet ass time going back to WWE or going to AEW or going anywhere, he can do that. But of course, because she teased that she has news on free agent signing, everyone thought, oh, she's going to announce Adam Cole's coming to AEW. First off, are you people fucking stupid? If Adam Cole is 100% coming to AEW, you're not going to reveal that. You might drop hints like you did CM Punk. Everyone's expecting fucking Bryan Danielson on Sunday, which will be the biggest surprise, biggest shock for me. For sure, one of the biggest acquisitions in AEW history. Sorry, CM Punk. Bryan Danielson's more of a mover in my opinion. But, of course, she did announce that Jamie Hayter and Rebel will be in the Battle Royal. Let's take a shot at Rebel pretty much not having a goddamn chance to win. So, that's that. And then she's like, oh, this big free agent signing is me. I re-signed a contract. It's like, you're not a free agent, you dumb bimbo. Get that title off of her. This was just a waste of time. But they also announced on Friday, Statlander, 2 days before her pay-per-view match against the Faker, will take on a Rebel and Jamie Hayter in a 2-on-1 handicap match. That is going to be where Rebel gets her ass kicked, probably. Hayter, I could honestly see Jamie Hayter just be like, you know what? I ain't got time for this. I'm out of here. So, it will be interesting to see what happens there. Then we move on to Penelope Ford versus Tay Conti. This match is happening because last week the Bunny tried to recruit Tay Conti to help her in the Battle Royal, which makes no fucking sense because everyone knows in real life her and Penelope Ford are like BFFs. She talks about Penelope Ford all the time on her Twitch channel when she's streaming. So yeah. It's just, why would you even do that? Oh, so we can start tension. So, it was an okay match. Tay Conti carried Penelope Ford. Penelope Ford, I don't know what it is. It just feels like she is hesitating half the time when she's wrestling. I know I've said this before, but it just feels like she's, like, second-guessing herself sometimes when she's wrestling, and there's, like, she just hesitates, and it just looks bad. Conti sends Ford into the Bunny, tricky pin, 1, 2, 3. She rolled her up and then bridged over top of her, so that's that. After the match, the two heels beat up on Tay Conti until cue the Dark Order music. Out comes the returning Anna Jay. We have not seen Anna Jay pretty much the entire year since she got injured. She was supposed to be in the women's eliminator tournament to see who would go to face Hikaru Shida at Revolution, I think it was. Yeah, it was Revolution. Got injured training, fucked her shoulder up, and has been out since. So she's back. She will be in the Casino Battle Royal. We are at 19. Yeah, 19 entrants for the pay-per-view match. I think that the last spot, if we don't get any more spots, then there's going to be 2 surprises, but who knows what that's going to be. Backstage, Alex Marvez trying to talk to Thunder Rosa, but she gets destroyed by Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill. Don't really care. CM Punk will appear this Friday, as well as Darby Allin versus Daniel Garcia, Malachi Black versus Lee Johnson, and we hear from the TNT champion Miro, as well as Chris Statlander taking on Rebel and Jamie Hayter. And next week is a special episode because it's Jon Moxley's homecoming. As you know, Jon Moxley, he is from Cincinnati, Ohio, but of course he lives with his wife Renee in Las Vegas, or Vegas area. And in the buy-in, we have Chuck Taylor, Wheeler Yuta, Orange Cassidy, and Jurassic Express versus Matt Hardy, TH2, and Private Party. I already mentioned that. Speaking of the Jurassic Express, the Lucha Bros and Jurassic Express take on the Elite with Don Callis and Brandon Cutler. This was if you wanted a spot fest, if you were getting bored and you didn't think there was anything exciting, you got yourself a spot fest at the end of the show. So, yeah, this was a heck of a match. Rey Fenix, I know, I think I've said this before, and I've been saying it to my dad as well and everyone else. The day we get Dante Martin versus Rey Fenix 1-on-1 will be a damn good match. Rey Fenix, I would love to see I would love to see Penta and Rey. When all things said and done, I would love to see them ease away from the tag team division eventually and go in the singles competition, because both of them could be world champion. Rey Fenix and Pentagon could be world heavyweight champion. I don't doubt that at all. But you had yourself a It was a decent. It was a good match. Spot fest here and there. Ray Phoenix just showing off what he can do. Now, the match comes to an end with Nick trying to springboard and gets flipped out to the floor by the guy's Jungle Boy with a huge twisting splash. So that could have went really wrong if he landed wrong. If his foot would have made contact before he got caught. Luchasaurus with the clothesline, standing moonsault on cover 2. Phoenix gets in there, Cutter helps out his team. Magic Killer on Phoenix, cover. Luchasaurus breaks it up. Matt tags in, Phoenix lands a double cutter on the Young Bucks. Phoenix heads to the apron, springboard splash caught in midair. Young Bucks hit the Meltzer driver for the 1, 2, 3. Hey, they hit the Meltzer driver and actually got the pin. That's different. And I'll talk about that because we're going to do a predictions here in a second. And that was that for the match. It was a spot fest, really good match. Out comes Kenny Omega, got himself a jet black hair, he like blacked up his beard as well. Strolls out with Nakazawa. A table is placed on the outside. Luchasaurus is taken out with a Magic Killer through the table, which that's a hell of an event. That's a hell of a creative spot in my opinion. Omega says Jungle Boy is nobody and is yelling at him. The Elite clear out some of the other wrestlers. Christian runs out and spears Omega. Kenny yells for the help and the friends. Down goes Christian. Cutler brings in a bunch of kendo sticks to hand Omega. Hand out. Omega says Christian fell into the trap. Omega tells Tony Khan that it's a great talk for the video game and other things, but you shouldn't leave his personal items out. He tells Don Callis to bring down the cage, and down comes the cage. So the Lucha Bros, Christian Cage, Jungle Boy is still in there. Jungle Boy eventually does get out. Dante Martin, Marco Stunt, Frank Kazarian all try to get into the cage. Marco Stunt's, of course, the small guy, so he's able to get up as far as he can. Gets sprayed in the face. The Elite is just destroying everybody. The Triple BT triggered the Christian. Lucha Bros are, of course, cuffed to the ring. Omega taunts them and his opponents as the show goes to a close. And that is how all AEW on TNT ends, with only a few days left before All Out. Friday is going to be crazy too because we're also going to be in the Now Center and it will be live. They are doing 3 episodes. They taped some Dark before the show. Max Caster made his return tonight in at the Dark tapings. So it will be interesting to see what happens with that. So we're going to talk about All Out because I don't know who the last 2 members are, where the last one is going to be, but we'll talk about that here in a second. So we got 10 matches, and I don't think anything's going to change. Luckily, I didn't do predictions until this week, because anybody who does predictions before the final week go-home show, which this was the final go-home show. I don't really consider Rampage as the final go-home show, just because why would you? But Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, Wheeler Yuta, and Jungle Boy, and the Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus will take on HFO, Private Party, Matt Hardy, and TH2. I'm saying the babyfaces have got to win this one. You got 2 of the most popular guys in this company, Jungle Boy and Orange Cassidy, on the same fucking team. There ain't no fucking way you don't have these guys win. The only way you possibly have HFO win is if Wheeler Yuta gets beat. But I don't see that happening. Women's Battle Royal. I'm going to go 2 things here. I say Ruby Soho is going to be the wild card. I fully predict she's going to be in this match. I don't know who the 20th person is going to be because we have Nyla Rose, Thunder Rosa, the Bunny, Big Swole, Julia Hart, Tay Conti, Diamante, Penelope Ford, Red Velvet, Hikaru Shida, Emi Sakurai, Jade Cargill, Kira Hogan, Abaddon, Layla Hirsch, Kylan King, Rebel, Jamie Hayter, Anna Jay, and 2 more women. And I say Ruby Soho, and I've been predicting this actually. I've been predicting this on social media and everything since her release, that Ruby Soho is going to be, because conveniently, she became a free agent today. 20-some hours ago, when it hit midnight this morning, she became a free agent. So she's absolutely probably going to be in this match. John Moxley versus Satoshi Kojima. John Moxley obviously is going to win that one. QT Marshall versus Paul White. Don't give a shit. Paul White wins. MJF versus Chris Jericho. This is a toss-up. MJF has just beat Chris Jericho 2 weeks ago. I don't know. It's like it just feels like it's too early to have MJF lose to Chris Jericho. But I don't think Chris Jericho's time is done in AEW. So for the fact that they even put that if he loses, he has to retire from the ring, I just don't see Chris Jericho giving up his career yet. So MJF is going to lose. Maybe Wardlow's... I don't think it's going to be a clean win either. I think that Wardlow's going to be out there. And Wardlow's going to try and hand MJF the ring. And it's going to get to Jericho. Or something like that. If something's going to happen and MJF's going to lose, not clean, but dirty. And Jericho gets to keep his job, keep wrestling. And hopefully these guys will move on, because this has got to be it. Win, lose, or draw, this is it. Miro versus Eddie Kingston TNT Championship. Now, this match, if this match was happening at, like, say, something happened here, and Miro retains the title, but it's chicanery, it's bullshit, or whatever you want to say, and they do a rematch at the Grand Slam. Eddie Kingston's winning the Grand Slam. He's not winning here. Miro is not losing on pay-per-view for the TNT Championship. If Eddie Kingston somehow gets another match in 3 weeks at Grand Slam, that's when I would say Miro would lose the championship, because it'd be Eddie Kingston in his home borough, or his home state, winning the TNT Championship. It would be a huge thing. The Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros. This match is going to be a damn good match. I'm going with the Lucha Bros, especially with how the match ended tonight, and how the Young Bucks and how the Elite just look so dominant going into the pay-per-view. I don't see any other way but these guys going, I just don't see any other way that this goes, but the Lucha Bros winning. I just don't see it any other way. It makes no sense. You have the cage match. There's going to be no after interference, which, yeah, we'll see how that goes. This is AEW. I can hold it to them. And it's just like the perfect way that you could have these guys win the tag team titles, and we go from there. The Faker will win because, Jamie Hayter will screw Chris Statlander, because they got to have the Faker, because I don't like it. I don't think the Faker's a good champion. She diminishes the title every time she's on TV. It looks shitty on her. But I already know that AEW sees the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker trilogy coming to the World Championship, and that's going to probably happen at Full Gear. I didn't mention a woman winning the Battle Royal, because I honestly couldn't tell you. If I had to pick one, obviously the obvious answer would be Thunder Rosa, but I don't think it's going to be Thunder Rosa, because they didn't say when the match, and the winner of the match gets the Women's Championship match, but it makes it so obvious that the winner of this is probably going to get the Women's Championship match at the stadium at the Grand Slam show. They're not going to go, well, we're going to get a number one contender at All Out, and we're going to go all the way to Full Gear with that, so that's not going to happen. So Thunder Rosa, Hikaru Shida could win it, but I don't think either one of them are going to win it. I think a dark horse would be interesting. Maybe Riho is back from her illness, and she becomes the 20th woman, and then Ruby Soho. Maybe Riho wins. Maybe Riho wins the Battle Royal, and she goes on to get screwed over by the Faker, because the Faker fucking sucks. But of course, the Faker's going to win, because they have a bigger match in mind for that. CM Punk versus Darby Allin. This one to me is academic. This isn't WWE. And I know if this goes the way I think it's going to go, people are going to be like, oh, people are okay with CM Punk beating Darby Allin, but if Goldberg going up against, but people have a problem with Goldberg getting a WWE Championship match. There's a fucking difference. CM Punk and Darby Allin are going to go out there, have a 15-20 minute barn burner that you're going to be talking about for the next month or so. They're not going to go out there and stink up the joint like Bobby Lashley and fucking Goldberg did, because Goldberg fucking sucks, and I never want to see that piece of shit in the middle of the ring again. They're going to go out there and they're going to give you a hell of a match. And Darby Allin has been so hot, so on fire, losing a back and forth barn burner of a match to CM Punk is not going to hurt Darby Allin. I see no problem with Darby Allin going up against CM Punk and losing this match. You can't have CM Punk go in here and lose his first match. That would be ridiculous. And then in the main event, which I don't know which one's going to be the main event because everyone knows that if you really wanted to pick it, CM Punk versus Darby Allin could be the main event. And I wouldn't have a problem with it because I think the World Championship should always go on last. But I can see them doing that as well. And Kenny Omega beating Christian Cage, that's academic as well. I mean, the way things ended tonight, you can be like, oh, well, it's going to be a bad night for the Elite. They're going to lose all the championships that they have on the line, which they only have 2, of course, because, yeah. But no, Kenny Omega is not losing that championship until it gets to Hangman Adam Page. That is the no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So to review, I say the best friends in Jurassic Express over the HFO. I say Ruby Soho is going to be the Casino Battle Royals wild card with, I'd say Tay Conti wins. I'm going to say right now, Tay Conti probably wins just to give you that kind of moment. John Moxley over Satoshi Kojima. Why would he win? Why would he go any other way? Paul White over QT Marshall. Who gives a shit? Chris Jericho over MJF. I just don't see Chris Jericho's time ending just yet. I can see him maybe retiring in the next year or two. Miro over Eddie Kingston in what will probably be a sleeper hit on the show. The Lucha Bros over the Young Bucks. The Faker over Chris Statlander because it's AEW and they gotta kiss up to Adam Cole. Kenny Omega over Christian Cage, and CM Punk over Darby Allin, and that should be a hell of a show. To be honest, outside of Paul White and QT Marshall in the Women's Championship match, the rest of this card is stacked to the gills. And they had to stack this card because if you remember last year's All Out was a very disappointing show. I know it was like the first show that they had actual fans back, but you had nothing really that good. It really wasn't that good. Like you had Big Swole versus the Faker in a tooth and nail match. That was terrible. The Young Bucks defeated Jurassic Express. The Lance Archer won a battle royal, the Casino Battle Royal they did there. Matt Hardy defeated Sammy Guevara in what was which was the Broken Rules match. Carlos Shida defeated Thunder Rosa. You had the 8-man tag team match where the Natural Nightmare, Scorpio Sky, and Matt Cardona beat the Dark Order. FTR beat the Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega, which got them the tag team titles and started this whole thing with Kenny Omega. Cassidy defeated Jericho in the Vada Mimosa match. And John Moxley versus MJF, which, again, the match overall was not the show overall was not good last year. This year, with what you got, is going to be, hopefully, a much better card. It can't fail, right? Right? All Out this year. I cannot wait to see what we get. Should be a lot of fun. We still have one more show to go on Friday. With CM Punk there, the 3 matches they have, it's going to be very, very interesting to see. All I know is this is a big week in professional wrestling. Will CM Punk do well? Will CM Punk fail? We do not know. Will the Young Bucks keep on the tag team titles with the cage match, which if you want to make it so that nobody can get in, and nobody can, no outside interference, put a fucking roof on that damn thing. How hard is that? It's pinfall submission. You're not going to have people escaping the cage. I don't think AEW is going to ever do the escape the cage thing because their cage doesn't go to the bottom of to the ring. It goes to the fucking floor. So don't put a door on it. Just have everybody come in, then lower the cage. Put a fucking roof on the thing. Keeps people from getting in, and you have a true thing because, honestly, if people aren't paying attention, anybody could be showing up. Anybody can come in and attack because you have a roof. What happens on Sunday? We got less than a week away. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. AEW on TNT Review plus the All Out predictions. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds at the France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/the France Club, and find me on Instagram at the France Club. And I'll see you guys on Friday with SmackDown and Rampage. Until then, my name is the France, and I'll see you guys later.